Hello, my name is Caden Dobbins, and welcome to my speech. Today I'll be talking about why I believe the COVID lockdown was the right thing to do. The COVID lockdown, without it, we would have had a much higher infection rate, a greater number of deaths, the virus would have mutated a lot quicker, and this would have led to a larger outbreak, which would have made things a lot worse for where we are today. The lockdown had a lot of economic drawbacks that we cannot overlook, but as you will see as I talk about it more, the people are the most important thing. Hence why the lockdown targeted to slow the spread of COVID and not aiming to maintain a positive economic stand. The lockdown itself. Lockdown itself went into effect on March 15th of 2020. The lockdown's restrictions included the closure of businesses and public gatherings such as schools, public offices, building capacity regulations, and stay-at-home orders. These orders and lockdowns forced a lot of people to work at home, which some people liked, some people didn't. This also caused a lot of changes for schools and the way that they taught their classes, and a lot of students did not feel like that they learned a lot from that year. But the target of the lockdown was to slow the spread. Masks Mass mandation in public places, especially on transportation or in large congregations of people. This was something that a lot of people did not like, and studies have come out that have kind of battled back and forth on whether or not that they really helped. We cannot know if they did not help, but we do know that when in public, that a good, well-regulated mask will help slow certain contagious effects, such as COVID. What it did good. Recent studies, these are now a few years old, but these studies estimated that the spread of the infection was reduced about 56% from what it would have been without a lockdown. They also found that if no restrictions were put in place until even just a month later, the number of cases would have been 5 times greater by the end of that month. We obviously cannot know for sure if this would have been the case, but I like to believe in the science and the math and things, and just based off of these studies, it is clear to see that the lockdown did help prevent a lot of spread and a lot of sickness due to COVID. The drawbacks. Obviously, there were drawbacks in the COVID lockdown. Not everything it did was great. A lot of these drawbacks came economically due to businesses and especially smaller owned businesses that were no longer able to operate because a lot of them cannot operate at home. The 1 quarter drawbacks, as seen here, the GDP was at a negative 5.4%, employment was at negative 2%, customer satisfaction was at negative 2%, and consumer spending was at negative 7.5%. These negative percentages are an average from the last quarter, so that is a decrease. These percentages were not very large, which is why I lean toward the side of the COVID lockdown being a good thing, because it greatly drew back the infection rate, and though it did have some lasting effects on economic state, many of these businesses are back up and running to full capacity. If not, some actually did benefit from the lockdown, finding that a lot of their workers could work from home, allowing them to rent out the space for their buildings for different uses. Now, all of this one quarter drawback did lead to about $27,000 roughly lower in GDP. According to the Lockdown Without Loss, a natural experiment of net payoffs from COVID-19 lockdown. This was a website that I went to that got me a lot of information and statistics based on different businesses and economic profit, net gain, and net decrease during and after the lockdown. The ethical question. This is probably the biggest question asked about the COVID lockdown is, on a ethical level, was it the right thing to do? In a country as large as the United States, what takes priority? It's people or it's an economy? I personally believe that the people should come first, and I believe that is the route that the route that America chose to go down with instituting a countrywide lockdown. is a difficult question to answer, and it really put the question front and center in front of the American national government and made them make a very tough decision in a very short amount of time. Like I said before, if they had waited just a month more, the cases would have been 5 times as worse. So the ethical question is a very difficult thing to answer, but I think that the people should come first. This is my works cited page. I hope you enjoyed my speech. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.